Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at the syllabus. Welcome to Psych 6832 Advanced Cog and Affective Psychology. Now this is a little bit of a misnomer because there's really no such thing as affective psychology, but there is affective neuroscience and some other related fields. We'll get into that later. My name is Julia Straight. I don't know if you've had me before. I'm kind of disappointed I don't get to see you guys in person, but I'm going to try to make this learning experience as helpful as possible for you as you embark on your PsyD journey. So my office hours are going to be held online for the time being. My email address is listed here as straightje@gmail.com. UHCL has not reactivated my email address there yet, so if you need to reach me, please try this first. I don't respond after 5 p.m. on weekdays or on the weekends, so I try to keep those boundaries pretty clear between my work life and home life, and I hope I will model that for you so you can adopt it too at some point. So in this course, we're going to talk about thinking and feeling, but in a really scientific way. Only PsyD students should be in this class. If you are not a PsyD student at UHCL, please let your advisor know as soon as possible. I'm pretty sure this class is only open to those who are. Our objectives are to become familiar with the current literature on cognitive and affective psychology and how they're related to each other, and to apply these theories and research findings to help us understand the role of thinking and feeling in human suffering and functioning. Knowing that you guys are PsyD students, I'm going to try to have a little bit of a clinical implication section for most of our modules. That will not always be able to bridge clearly from what we're talking about, but I think a lot of times it will easily apply. I need you guys to get the textbook. It's called Cognitive Psychology. This is a much later version of a textbook that I learned cognitive psych from with a great professor named Amit Elmore at USC, and I really found it helpful. It has a lot of good summaries, and I like the organization of the textbook. Of course, you can always get an older version if you want. There's going to be, of course, additional source material posted. So for this class, I'll show you in a minute, but uniquely, you're going to be really immersed in different multimedia about each of these things. So you're going to talk about the chapters, but you're also going to talk about the articles, and I've selected some podcasts, videos, different recordings, lectures, things like that from the internet, from people much smarter than me to talk to you about it. So there's something about that. Now this class is one of the requirements for APAs, what we call DSKs, that just is fancy for domain-specific knowledge. We have to cover two areas, cognitive and affective. That is why this class was invented, because we didn't have classes that covered both of those things. So we have to have grades for them separately. Now we're getting into this in the first module, but cognition and affect are really difficult to separate scientifically or therapeutically. However, we have to do so for the purposes of checking off your APA boxes. So we're going to do that. The first thing you're going to be doing is writing commentaries each module. I say module, this is currently a 5-week course. You will complete one module per week. So there are 5 modules. Each week you will write one commentary and 2 responses to your peers, and there's some details down here. They're due Friday by 9 a.m., first, second, third, and fourth weeks of class, and in that 5th week, since it's truncated in the middle of it, they'll be due on Wednesday. Then your responses to 2 of your classmates will be due Wednesdays, the following Wednesday after that Friday, for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th weeks, and then by the final exam closing day on that 5th week. There's a note here as well. I want to point you to this, the culture of feedback. So I really do ask you to read and comment and give feedback on other people's commentaries, but also possibly on their videos, on their projects throughout the class. I really think that's important in a graduate level class. Then there's 2 components of each. There's cognitive and affective components of this class, and each of those has to be broken into 2 grades so that we can get what's called a composite score for APA. So we want to make sure you've got your bases covered. So for each of those, there's an objective assignment, a quiz. This will be like multiple choice, true-false type quiz. And then there's going to be a debate, which is a larger project that you will complete with a partner, but get an individual grade for. That is also true for the affective grade, excuse me. So I will try as best I can to separate these out for the quizzes, though it is a little artificial. That makes up your class grade. A little bit about these debates. They're exactly the same, except for one, you're going to focus on cognitive topics and the other on affect. You're going to choose a widely believed or propagated concept, theory, effect, topic, or idea. I'll give you some examples in a second. Cognitive psych for this first one. You're going to use the information we learn in class, different source articles to look at, where did this idea come from? How has it evolved and changed? Veracity means, is it true or provable? Is it important? And how would that apply to clinical work? So that's always a question for us as applied scientists. Excuse me, you're going to do a formal debate with a classmate where you argue one side of this issue. So, I'll give you some examples in a second. You're going to record it audio only. It must show evidence of graduate level preparation and planning. So this can't just be like you chatting at the coffee shop with your friend. It needs to be really well prepared and planned. In fact, I would probably write it down. It's going to be real boring if you write it down and then just read it from your notes. That would be kind of pointless. But maybe make a few notes for yourself and do a bit of a presentation style, like not reading straight off your notes, but having some preparation. Plus, you don't know what the other person's going to say in the debate, so you can't completely prepare every single thing you're going to say. Each of you will receive an individual grade. There is a rubric for this assignment. I'll show you in a second. So you'll have 3 sections. It gives some time limits here. In the intro section, you're going to give an issue overview to the audience. Second part, you're going to take turns presenting the data, refuting the data, arguing, and you have to use research sources to back these arguments or theoretical or model arguments from the papers, the readings, the videos that we watch. And then the last section, you're going to decide and argue a final position based on the evidence presented. So the same person that does the intro will do the conclusion, the same person that does the intro will not do the conclusion. Each of you will do a piece of this so that you can get your own grade, and then you'll both get a grade for the middle. And you're going to present reasons about why you came to this conclusion, maybe together, and then how that affects applied work assessment or intervention. You may want to decide on this conclusion before you record so that it will go smoothly. I won't listen to anything longer than 18 minutes because there are a whopping 28 people in this class. This is the really cool part, is that you're going to do an annotated bibliography document before you do this debate so that as we're all watching it, or as I'm watching it, we can see what you're arguing from. Like, you're not just pulling this out of nowhere, you're actually taking this from peer-reviewed articles. So you're going to, give the citation APA style for the article and then write a brief 3-sentence-ish summary of it. Not the abstract. Please don't paste the abstract. You're going to write a little summary of the article. So, for example, this article provides the points we argued about, so-and-so's refutation of the evidence for ego depletion based on neuroscience, whatever. They say that in this experiment, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we use this to argue against ego depletion, whatever. Here are some ideas. If you want to explore an idea that is not presented here, please let me know. No later than 9 a.m. on Friday, the first week of class. When you send me the idea, send me the topic and kind of the argument, like what's the basis of the conflict here. If it's not really debatable, then it'd be hard to present. Maybe give me like a source reading or a source recording as well to get me oriented to the lay of the land here. But I gave you some links here, or kind of keywords to look at what these issues are. You're probably going to look at these and be like, I don't even know what that means right now. That's okay. Go look up the issues quickly and figure them out. Now, can more than one group or partner group, do a certain topic? Of course. There's way too many of you to have it be independent. So, ego depletion, readiness, potential, and free will, repressed or rediscovered traumatic memories, brain training, and flashbulb memories. These are all kind of debated things within cognitive psychology. You will look at articles or arguments from each, so to say, side. Some are more contentious than others. And some seem to be more resolved than others, but you will argue that. The other assignment in this class, the big project, is the exact same thing, but with an affective bent. So Are there universal basic emotions across cultures? There are different people that argue this back and forth. Can you separate rationality from the passions or emotion? What comes first when you're processing emotions? Are humans born to be afraid of certain things like snakes? And then what are the ways that fear or high emotionality affects learning and memory? Some people claim, or there are examples of cases in which it enhances it, and some examples of cases in which it detracts from it or impairs you. All right, last thing. So both quizzes are going to be due on the final exam closing day in the 5th week of class. I'm working to get these up in that last week. You're going to be able to take them kind of whenever you have time. You will have to take them, I think, in one sitting. You can't sign in and out. We're trying to work with Blackboard to get that set. If anyone needs accommodations, I have received a few of those. I just need you to come specifically to me. However, you got to email me and let me know. It's not enough for me to know that you need them. You actually have to come and ask for them and talk to me about it. So that's an email situation right there. All right, bonus. I love bonus points because anytime there's an objective quiz, there's a chance of you being like, that's not fair. And so the bonus. The bonus allows you to get points back from maybe like a failed quiz, or maybe you had a really bad project grade. You can earn up to 10 points back, so that's like a letter grade. You need to read one of these books or another one that you proposed to me by 9 a.m. Monday on the 5th week of class and critique it, review it, just like someone would for an APA-style journal. Here's an example right here. These are some of my favorite books, and they're all written by, I guess, scientists or science journalists on some topic somewhat related usually to these debates up here, but some big topic within cognitive or affective psychology. All right, this is the UHCL grading scale. Late assignments, this course is 5 weeks. That means, for projects and stuff, 10% off for every 24 hours they're late, starting at whatever the time is, right? So it's like 9 a.m. that next day, you get 10% off. Any assignment you have not submitted by the last final exam day has to get a 0. There's not a big margin of error here. I got to turn around and get grades in really fast. Taking a sip of my Coke Zero, sorry. No makeup quizzes, because you can take them whenever you want. Don't wait till the last minute to take them. That's what I recommend. Make sure you're at a stable internet connection. The commentaries and responses are just kind of like a daily grade. They're an activity. It's a reflection. You can't really do those late because other people are waiting for you so they can respond. The rest of the syllabus is policies from the university, of course. We take all of these things very seriously. Incompletes, plagiarism is a really big deal in our program, so don't do it. And of course, if you need supplies or anything like that, you can find them here. The rest of the class schedule is down here. Now, you may be used to seeing like week 1, what's the date, when's it due? This class is organized differently since it's what we call asynchronous, meaning I will never meet with you in person, which, by the way, is not my preference and was not my choice. However, we do what we can. So the introduction, how are cognition and affect related? We're going to get into some neuro stuff and cultural considerations. Each of these has kind of the topic. Oops. Yikes. These are the textbook chapters that you will read for the week, and these are all articles you'll read for the week. You will find the articles posted in PDF form, either on Blackboard, or I can send you a Google Drive link if they don't get my Blackboard up and running in time. You are also required, this is not extra unless it says optional, required to watch these different media or listen to these different media pieces down here. They are directly related to what we're talking about, and I'm a big believer that just because it's in pop media doesn't mean it's irrelevant. In fact, it's very relevant. Most people don't read research articles. We want to make sure we have the scientific backing and the pop culture side. I want to know what people in the real world, what TED Talks are saying about this, right? You're going to be an applied psychologist. You can't just put your head in the clouds like and stay in the ivory tower and pretend not to know what most people think about these things. So, like I said, there are lectures here. Intro to Emotion is the first one. This is, you'll see a couple of these throughout the modules. This is a kind of wacky guy, just doing kind of an intro level, what is emotion, what are the basic theories. These are all, anything in here is fair game for the 2 quizzes. So there's also Lisa Feldman Barrett TED Talk. She's a huge emotion researcher. If you have time, that her book, How Emotions Are Made, which is one of your bonus books, is just excellent. You'll also read some of her work in the first week. So you need to watch these lectures. They're like I think this one is 15 minutes, this one's 20 minutes. Then there's a podcast, Very Bad at Wizards. I will warn you, there is some explicit content. You might want to fast forward to what they call the segment where they actually talk about emotion. They talk here about all the things from your articles, like what is emotion, do we feel physiology first, what's the neural basis, and then last but not least, there's a really cool journalism piece or article, pop culture article in The Cut, and it's about a historical neuropsych case where this man had quote unquote like only logic and couldn't use his emotion, and he ended up not functioning very well. So kind of going against that idea that, oh, we can just be logical and not have influence of emotion. So the rest of these do the exact same thing. The second module is about perception and attention, cognition and affect as applied to those things. Here's your lectures, some interesting videos about the different scientific or experimental effects that are found there. And then, chapter 3, here's some more module 3, information processing and memory. You're going to read some stuff about working memory and how does it influence, or how is it influenced by different affective components. Some more lectures, how do we make memories, how do we remember and forget. This is personally like one of my favorite topics. When I was in undergrad, someone handed me this guy Schachter's book, The 7 Sins of Memory, which is another one of your bonus books, and it just fascinated me, because I always thought that memory just recorded like a tape, and these are, a lot of articles and things about how that's not true. I want to point out here that if it says study aid resource, that means you don't necessarily have to pore over it. It's just to help you in studying, because some of these basic theoretical and model ideas, some of these terms that you might see pop up on your quiz. Some videos are there too, and another Very Bad Wizards episode. I really love them. There's a few of them here. It's hosted by a philosophy professor from U of H and a psychology professor from, I don't remember, somewhere up north. And the fourth module is language and imagery. So how does language shape our cognition? How do we learn verbal behavior? I threw in some stuff on relational frame theory here, which if you are familiar with acceptance and commitment therapy or ACT, that's pretty central RFT, but it does talk about how language shapes our thoughts and emotions. So there's a few things on that. This is a really cool lecture by I think it's another professor about language. Again, why do I want to lecture when I've got these amazing researchers from other places that I can point you to watch their lectures? So here is another Very Bad Wizards and a cool video about infant speech discrimination. How does it develop? One of those learning supplements again here. This one's really cool. It's Foxy Learning. If you actually go through this RFT online training, it'll give you a really solid basis in RFT. It's very like ABA, but it's pretty cool. Full disclosure, haven't made it through the whole thing yet. It's very long, but it does give you an idea of what this relational frame theory is. All right, last module is decision making and problem solving. If you can see, we've kind of moved up the ladder. So we've gone from kind of the most quote unquote basic things like definitions, and then we go to perception and attention. That's really the low level things in the brain, going up to information processing, how do we store things in the brain, all the way to language and imagery, which are pretty advanced functions, and the very, very topmost functions of the brain, decision making and problem solving. So you're going to read a bunch of Tversky and Kahneman. It's one of my favorite things. If you're interested in their historical relationship and findings, the book in your bonus list that's called The Undoing Project by Michael Lewis is pretty darn good. It's one of the few that I think people who aren't psychologists might actually enjoy. And then you'll also see Danny Kahneman's wife wrote another book on spatial cognition that's in your bonus list, which I think is so cool. She is also a scientist, I should say, not just Kahneman's wife. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff on problem solving and, for clinical implications, how does stress, impact that? And if you're interested in some trauma things, this might be interesting to you as it is to me. We have a couple lectures on cognition and problem solving, and then a UT professor talking about the Kahneman kind of heuristics, decision-making heuristics that we use. A Making Sense podcast. This is a guy named Sam Harris. I don't necessarily condone his political views. He is quite controversial. However, he does an excellent interview with Daniel Kahneman, who was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize, or sorry, that's not right. Pulitzer Prize is for literature. He won the Nobel Prize for his work on behavioral economics and decision making, and it is a great interview. Sam Harris is a philosopher and neuroscientist as well. most famous for his meditation podcasts and things like that. And then some different videos and study resources. So if you're going at a good pace, you'll do 1 module per week. That's a nice pace. So if it were me, what I'm going to do as you guys go along, I will start with probably about the textbook chapters, maybe look at some lectures and things, and then some videos. And once I do that, I'll kind of read the articles as I go, maybe read some of this stuff and listen to the podcast kind of like in my car or walking around cleaning the house. And then I'll have a real good feel for all of that. And I'm taking notes as I do that, because at the end of the week, I'm going to post a discussion board post talking about like what I thought of all this stuff. I'm going to be trying to synthesize some of this information and just think through it. I just want to see, there's no right answer, to those posts. I just want to see that you're like really absorbing kind of something from each of these major articles and questions, and that you're able to talk about it somewhat intelligently. So you don't have to make citations or anything like that. In fact, I think in here there is a some guidelines for your posts. So again, graduate level communication, that's something that APA is big on, and should be. They have to cover most. I want you to integrate like as much as possible. And there may be like 1 or 2 articles that kind of stick out to you more than others, but I will try to post some broad guiding topics. I don't know if you actually need them, because it should be sort of obvious from what the readings are for the week. For example, we went over that first one. It's really how are cognition and emotion are related. What's the neurobiological evidence for emotion? Are there brain circuits, and so on? And then are emotions universal or culture specific? Those are kind of the main points for that first module, and you can kind of pick that up from looking at it. But maybe I'll post some guiding things for you, regardless of whether I do or not. Though you've got to post something, just kind of show us your thoughts, your scholarly thoughts about how this is working itself out in your head, and then like, please don't do the whole like reflection for the sake of reflection. Like, I learned a lot from this article. It said this and this. No. Please, like, I want to know really like what you're learning, what you're thinking about it. What are your questions? And then, maybe you can have some responses to other people's posts that either answer them or ask more questions. I'm really excited about that part of it. I know discussion boards are kind of sometimes a boring part, like, oh, I have to do this, but I think this is a really good opportunity to kind of think out loud, and for me to see how you guys are thinking through it, what questions you have, and what are your understand. You can literally write in there like, oh, I'm struggling with this concept. I'm not really understanding how this works, but this article suggested this, so I'm trying to think through that. And here's an example. Maybe you want to pull in a clinical example or something like that. So those are those commentaries. You do those every week throughout the class. Be keeping your eye on this debate. I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, start it in the second week. You do it whenever you want to start. I mean, I would start from the first week. Start pulling stuff together on your topic. I would pick a topic with your partner your first week. And if you're doing one off here, you don't have to tell me what it is, if because they're already there. If you're doing one that's not on here, please email me. But pick a topic, pick your partner the first week. Again, you don't have to tell me who it is. Just if you don't have a partner by the second week, let me know, or third week, and I can maybe try to pair you up. But I'm going to trust that you guys can kind of grab somebody. And again, if that's like problematic, please let me know and I'll pair you up. But start working on it, because if you know your topic, for example, like I know mine's going to be, repressed memories, then as you go through each module, each set of readings, each PowerPoint, you can kind of tell your partner or work on like, okay, there's going to be something about this in our chapter, because you've got to use stuff from our class readings. And so you can keep your eyes out for that. Eagle eyes, as I tell my toddler. Keep your eagle eyes out for things related to repressed memories. Okay. So it's getting a little weird. I'm going to go ahead and exit this talk and hope that it recorded. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'm super pumped about this class. All right, bye.